We going. So Mr. One exercise per day over there. What prompted jumping to that? We haven't chatted since you really started diving into that style of training.
Yeah, it's actually funny, right? Because we don't even know who each other are. We just kind of met on Instagram years ago, uh, and we've been trying to do this for a long time, and we just haven't been able to. So I'm super pumped that we were able to do this. But yeah, OEPD, one exercise per day. It I come from a CrossFit background
Mm.
and like a bodybuilding background. Not really bodybuilding in the sense of like going to stand on stage and showcase my muscles, but just that's when you're in high school and college, that's just how you train. And then I
Oh
met my
yeah.
wife and we started doing CrossFit. And I always tell the story on like live streams that I when I found out that my wife was pregnant, I was trying to train to be a CrossFitter in this
Mm.
doing 6 to 8 hours of training a day. And it's funny because I would wake up some days and I hated training. Uh, and then when I found out that I was having my first kid, I immediately knew that my entire life was going to change when it comes to training.
Oh yeah.
And I had to change up my entire business life of how I was going to train people because at the time I was just I was coaching a few classes and training a few people at their homes and at like a commercial gym, just trying to get by, right? Just trying to make ends meet. And then when you realize that you're having a kid and you actually have to like become a responsible adult, and waking up and feeding. Do you have kids?
Yeah, I've got two.
Oh, okay. How old are your kids?
My oldest will be 2.5 actually on Christmas Day, and then my youngest just turned one last about a little over a month ago, almost 2 months ago.
Wow. So you have two. You have two under three.
Yeah, they're 16 months apart, so we had two under two for a minute there.
My 3 year old is drastically different than my 8 year old, and if your 2 year old is anything like my 3 year old, I will pray for you.
Oh, we
It's
need it,
just
dude.
it's just pure chaos, right? It's never ending.
Oh my god.
Do they
I
sleep?
They're largely good sleepers, which is really fortunate. So that helps a ton because that stresses me out. Like as a parent, the thing that stresses me out the most is when they're not sleeping well because I just want them to sleep well and like feel good, and be rested.
I want to
And
feel good.
right, me too. Like fortunately at night, like they're cool. It's usually just like naps, and my older one, my daughter, will stay up for like 45 minutes at night, and she'll talk, she'll sing, she'll just hang out. And like when she was younger, like she'd be out in like 15 minutes. So then once she got into like this new routine of staying up later, it would just stress me out. I'm like, she should be asleep by now. Like she should be out. And it's
Yeah,
just not her MO anymore. But yeah, as a parent, that shit is what stressed me out the most because I was like, I just want them to be like well rested and feel good and like all the things. And so if she skips a nap, I'm just like, fuck, like, why, kid? Like, just get back in bed.
oh, and it's crazy because you have like these expectations, and for me, my personality, if one thing doesn't go right, my entire day can flip upside down.
God, dude, yeah.
And that I started talking to a therapist last February because I was like on like the verge of a mental breakdown, and she's really helped me like switch the way that I view a lot of things. Like some things are just out of your control, and you just kind of have to go with the flow. And I used to be
Yeah.
so good at that until I had kids, and you start getting responsibilities, and then everything just kind of changes. And that's kind of where I was leading at with the kids is my my 8 year old was the worst sleeper. Uh, I was
Yeah.
the one who would read stories with him at night, and I would fall asleep in his bed, and he would wake up numerous times and come wake me up. So I would never get a full night's sleep,
Yeah.
and I just wasn't recovering, and I got to a point of burnout. And there was one day where I we opened up the facility. We had just had our kid. We bought a house, all within like a year time frame. And I remember coming to the gym to train some people because at the time I was still coaching. I was all over the place trying to make this work. I was going home to home. I was training people here in person because some of my home to home clients didn't want to come to the gym, which I understand. It was a far distance. And I remember coming here and I was supposed to work out and I was like, I don't want to. I
Yeah.
have no desire to exercise. I didn't want to go for a run. I didn't want to do whatever CrossFit program was programmed for that day. And so it was like a solid 2 week streak where I barely exercised. I'd maybe squat like a barbell, and I'd say, oh, that's good for the day. And then one day I had a half hour cancellation, and I was like, you know what? Let's just focus on one strength movement for the day. And that's kind of where it started from. But then I would, you get, everybody gets like this. You get hungry. You want to do more. So then
Hmm.
that evolves into a little bit more, and then I get to another point of burnout, and I'm like, screw this. And then when we just had our 3 year old, it finally hit me after training people for 13 years that people are fed up. And honestly, like, I think you could agree with this. Most people in the world today should not be doing the amount of volume that they are doing when it comes to exercise. We're not we're not athletes. We are athletic in our own sense, but we're not
Hmm.
like going to train to be on a basketball court or a football field. We're not training to go stand on stage. We're not trying to be the next power lifter. Unless you are, then you train that way. But for the
Yep.
most part, people just need to exercise, and it needs to be extremely simple. So then it just kind of clicked with me, one exercise per day, and
Yeah.
that's all I ask of a lot of my clients, is just to do one thing a day. And it could be for anyone from any age, any any exercise, any equipment that you have, because there's always excuses, right? Oh, well, it's snowing, I couldn't make it to the gym. Okay, do some push-ups. If you have a band, do some pull-aparts, right? You could do something. If you have a pull-up bar, just do a hang. Just work on some posture. And if you and last part, and then I'll we'll go into a different subject. But when I would do like a lot of these exercise programs, especially like CrossFit, and then I kind of ventured off. Do you know who Mike Israel is?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
With
started
Renaissance
doing a lot of like,
periodization.
yeah, I started doing a lot of Dr. Mike's workouts, and I'm not. It's not him. It's just the programming itself. Of There would be days where I would blast my shoulders of certain exercises. I'd be doing like overhead presses to his crazy ass lateral raises to barbell front raises. And I'd wake up the next day and I'm like, damn, my elbow feels like it's going to like blow out. And I've never had that issue before. But as we age, things happen. And that's why I think with the OEPD, if you just do one movement, the next day, oh, my elbow is going to blow out. It's whatever you did the day before. But when you do a big clutter of exercises, you don't know which one is bothering you. So
No.
that's that. And then, it's not, it's for everyone from a beginner to advanced. I could go on and on about this, but it's great for everybody. I truly believe it. And then my last piece, there is this guy. I think I don't want to call anyone out, but there's a guy who pushes a program a lot, and it's like two or three movements within a 15-minute time frame. And it's awesome because I the simplicity of exercise, right? That's what we are trying to do as trainers and health quote unquote professionals, is to make exercise as simple as possible. But I can't stand when someone pushes an agenda on someone and doesn't practice what they preach. Because this guy does a podcast and he's jacked out of his mind. Your name's JT, right? I should have asked you that in the way beginning.
Yeah.
JT? JT?
Mm. Yeah.
Okay. The guy's jacked out of his mind. And my client does his programming, which is great. It's simple. He exercises 7 days a week. That's awesome. But like, it's not what the guy's practicing and preaching. And I hate that
Mm.
because behind the scenes, he's doing something drastically different. But he just created this program for someone to do just to get them to exercise, which I guess is fine. But like, you don't know if there's true results behind it. And that's why for the last like 3 months, I've been doing nothing but just one exercise per day, so I can actually like fine tune everything and make sure that whatever someone's doing, you're going to get good results. That's
Dude.
my preach for a little while.
Dude, it's true though. Like I was like, if I incorporate something new into my programming style, like I always run it for myself for at least a few months just to make sure that it's good. I can feel the effects. But I think like what you said with volume is so true. Cause like we have this opposite end of the spectrum, right? Where like there's too many people not working out. So their volume is zero. And like obviously that needs to increase. But what people usually do is like try and do the most and just stack like tons of different exercises with tons of different sets into their workout, and then they just like don't make progress. And for me, I'm like, most new clients who start with me are like, they look at the workout and they're like, is that it? Like, are you sure? And I'm like, I'm positive, dude, because What I want you to do is I want you to maximize your intent and your effort within the workout that I have programmed for you. And so I've had people be like, dude, this is only 40, 45 minutes. Like I can do 60. And I'm like, dude, I want you to ruin your fucking life in 45 minutes. And then once you do that, if you think you can handle 60 minutes, then we can increase the volume on you. But you don't need more than 45 minutes if you're
You really
really
don't.
getting after it and if your intensity is there. And I try and get people to drive intensity mainly via load because I'm like, if the workout feels too easy, you're not lifting enough weight. Like you're just not. Like I can almost guarantee it. Like I'll have people do like Bulgarian split squats and be like, I just wasn't fatigued and I didn't need to rest between legs. And then I'm like, then you need to do more weight, dude. Like you're
Yeah,
not challenging yourself enough. And until you
it,
challenge yourself enough, we don't need more volume because it's just junk at that point. Like you need
it,
to dial in the sets that you're doing.
yeah, no, 100%. You know, either tempo, go a little bit heavier weight, right? Like figure something out because when I do Bulgarian split squats, I feel like I'm gonna die.
Bro,
Uh,
I'm ready to meet God like every time.
and I think that's to go back to Dr. Mike because God forbid he sees this and puts us on one of his horrible YouTube videos that he does.
Fucking let's
Number
go,
one,
dude.
he does an amazing job at obviously progressing someone to that point. Like if you do some of his programs on RP Strength, it's you do one set of everything, but what I'm saying is that there's a plethora of exercises that you're doing along with it. So you can't distinguish what's bothering you and not. And then to your point, I think a lot of people, and I do this too, and I did this when it comes to exercise, and you've got like 4 or 5 exercises ahead of you. I think it's just human nature to try to just like start chipping things off the list. So like if you're going to start with a back squat or a front squat, and then you know you have split squats and lunges and leg extensions after that, you're not really putting your full intent into that first exercise because you're kind of dreading the rest of the work that you're doing. So that's why, and even like something that I've noticed with working with clients for the last 13 years is people will put weight on a bar or grab a dumbbell and think that that first set is their working set. And
Mhm.
that's why, like with the OEPD, you could do, 7 to 10 sets, but the first 3 or 4 are kind of just warm up sets working up to that. And then when you finally get to a good intensity, as you build up to it, that's your working set. And that's like one of the hardest things that I've had with training clients is there's two things. Number one is getting them to push themselves, like you just said with split
Mhm.
squats, and then number two is resting. I don't know why
Yeah.
people just don't want to rest. We're on a highway, so I'll jokingly say sometimes, wait until 15 cars go by, and then you can do your next set. Or if it's rush hour, 60 cars, right? Like just distract yourself because if you're able to just go right into it, it's cardio and you're not focusing on strength. And the idea for me is to help build strength and muscle.
Yeah. Yeah, and the rests are obviously important for that, but it's the same idea, right? Like whether it's the whole workout or an individual set of the workout, like if it felt too easy, you're sandbagging it. Like that's just the fucking truth. Like if you do a set of anything and you don't feel like you need rest, then you didn't do enough weight. Like just plain and simple. Like you did not challenge yourself enough because you should need that rest. Like when I do Bulgarians, which again is like I think the hardest exercise that there is, like I desperately need rest between legs because I'm gassed. And then between sets, like I'm dying. Like if I have a minute or two programmed, I'm like, please, like give me like 3 to 5 minutes. Like I don't want to go back to this, because I'm still whooped. Like, and if people feel like it's too easy or feel like they can do a shorter rest, dude, I got news for you. You can do more weight. And I get that a ton. People are like, I don't need these minute rest periods. Like, just give me 30 seconds. And I'm like, then work harder. Like straight up. Like
Yeah,
you just need to work harder because not only are you not pushing yourself enough, that's just going to compromise your results. Like if you're not doing enough weight and it's clear that if your rest times feel like they're too long, then you're not doing enough weight, then you're not getting results from this workout. So like you need to challenge yourself more and you need to push yourself more. And like I get it because workouts are just inherently hard, right? Like no matter even if you are sandbagging it a little bit, like it's still hard. Exercise is still hard. And so people just need to find like this next level to go to where they're like, oh, like I am capable of that. And so like that's what I feel like my job is really is to push them to find that because most people don't find it. And it took me a long time, even as a personal trainer, to find it. It took me training with a buddy who just was simply stronger than me, where I was like, yeah, like you loaded up more on the bar, man. Like, let's go. And then I did it and I was like, oh, like
Yeah, I
that's
can do
that's
that.
what yeah. And not only can do that, like I can get my effort and my intensity to that next level. And then like I did like, 30 to 50 pounds more on a trap bar deadlift than I'd ever done before. And I was like, oh, so like this is what real effort looks like. Like I was not intentionally, but I was dogging it before.
Yeah, yeah, and I think people are a lot of you get like both combinations with like pushing yourself. You get one, clients are scared to injure themselves.
Hmm.
Actually, three things, and then you get a lot of females who think that they're going to get bulky. Right, that's like the biggest myth out there. Uh, and then three, I think there's like a group of trainers that are worried to push their clients because they will get hurt. So the one and three are kind of the same.
Hmm.
Uh, but yeah, I mean, you do you. I was just talking to my client as he walked out because he was saying, "Good luck doing this." He said, "Don't scare anyone," and I said, "Should I use the word intensity?" And he goes, "Maybe build up to intensity." Uh, and I think that's true. Like back to what you were saying before about clients starting off, uh, you you shouldn't be doing a lot of volume, and if you're going from 0 to 100 in the beginning, you're asking for burnout
Hmm.
right away. You're going to burn out. Uh, and then with intensity and pushing yourself, I can truly thank CrossFit for that because CrossFit was one of those. I don't know if you've ever done like a CrossFit, if you've ever
No.
gone to a CrossFit gym. It's one of those things where like it'll test your life. It pushes you like no other workout ever, and I learned a lot from it, but I realized also, and especially like I started early in CrossFit in like the '09 time, and it was really simple at that time. It was your basic movements, and I felt like it had a really good idea. And then as it progressed, JT, it was like you're walking on your hands, you're climbing up a pegboard, you're doing 500-pound deadlifts after you're running a 5K, and it just didn't make any sense to me anymore. But the idea behind it, like the intensity and pushing yourself and seeing what you can do. I got injured more times than I count my hand doing CrossFit, but it also taught me that you are capable of pushing. And
Yeah.
it's funny how like your journey there's little pieces of your journey that you can learn from.
Yeah, yeah, and that's super valuable. And like, you don't need to get to the point where like, you're puking in the trash can like off to the side of the gym because you whooped yourself that badly. But like, you got to find an intensity that like leaves you gasping for breath after some sets, and really feeling the work and really looking forward to those rest periods or even just, in a certain sense, looking forward to the workout being over, like and being like, bruh, like I can't keep this up for much longer. And honestly, like for most of my clients and for myself, even I found that sweet spot to be like 45 minutes, like give or take a little, and I think at the one exercise per day, like doing those 7 to 10 sets, like you're talking about, like that'll do it too, because you're building and building and building up to those, peak sets. But like for most people, if you're doing like 3 workouts a week, give or take, for like 45 minutes, and you're truly getting after it, like, dude, you can get phenomenal, phenomenal results in that time.
Yeah, I like what you just said because the overall I have two main missions with OEPD. It's number one is to create consistency for people, right? Because
Hmm.
it's super, super simple. You just pick one exercise. And then number two is to create a healthier relationship with exercise. Because I've seen it again in the CrossFit world, in like the bodybuilding world, in the boot camp world, where people think that if they just burn themselves down to the ground, they're going to see these amazing results. But like
Hmm.
exercise should not be treated that way. It should be treated with like pure respect, and your body composition is going to change from nutrition. Right? I mean, it's been a saying forever. You can't outwork your diet. Some people can, like if you're Michael Phelps, sure, but like if you're just training and exercising, you're not going to outwork your diet. And that's one of like the sales pitches of the OEPD is if you're only doing one exercise per day and you're spending 20, 30 minutes a day, now you instead of driving to the gym and spending an hour at the gym, so now you're at like an hour and a half, time consuming right there. You get a whole hour of your day right there After you're done working out, when your brain is stimulated, now you can sit there and pinpoint your nutrition for the rest of the day. Figure out what
Mhm.
you're going to eat. Put more effort into what you're going to consume and your caloric intake than you are by beating your body up and then just probably splurging after that because your body's going to be extremely hungry.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, and it's interesting too, because like, I've started looking into this more recently, but, like, obviously, when it comes to body composition, like what you're talking about, whether you wanna lose weight, build muscle, like, nutrition needs to be dialed, and in general, like, you've gotta have your nutrition in a really good spot, but the more that I've been looking into it, like, the effects of exercise just in terms of benefiting strength, like cardiovascular health, like, all the overall health stuff that exercise can benefit, it often happens like independent of your nutrition. So, like if you want to change your body, then yeah, like we need to utilize nutrition as as a tool. But really, if you're just like I don't care if I get less fat or more muscular or anything. Like I want to be strong. I want to maybe have a little bit more muscle. I don't care about losing body fat. I want to get like live a better quality of life and live for a longer time. Like just fucking exercise. Like just do the damn thing. And like
Sure.
you can still like obviously you don't want to eat like an asshole, but like you still don't have to like have the cleanest diet to get positive effects from exercise, which I think is just really cool. Like, and yeah, like we probably should eat a healthier diet. And like again, if we want to change, if we want to lose weight or like gain an appreciable amount of muscle, like we're gonna need to make nutrition changes. But at the end of the day, like exercise just by itself, regardless of everything else, is so fucking powerful as long as you do it right. As long as you're pushing yourself, but not annihilating yourself to where you can't recover from it. So like if you're sore as shit all the time, probably not going to be beneficial. But like really, it's like just exercise, just do something. Like that is arguably the most powerful thing that we can do for our physical health.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at like what our ancestors did, right? I mean, no one's ever really been sedentary, and
Yeah.
we're as human beings, we're not supposed to be sedentary, both physically and mentally, right? I think that's I'm not going to get into the mental health space too much, but sometimes I wonder if that's why there's such a mental health
Bro,
issue right now
100%.
because people
100%.
aren't moving and just getting blood flow into their bodies.
Dude, I think a
Uh,
lot of it is I think that's a huge piece of it. I think the movement, I think even more than that, it's the challenge. Because again, exercise is hard. No matter even if like you are dogging your exercise, like you still have to show up, which is hard. You still have to do the work, which is hard. And I think that people have gotten soft nowadays and they don't do hard things. And I think that hard things bring purpose. And I think that humans need purpose. And so for like your run of the mill, like obviously there's like true, genuine, like clinical mental health problems, and I don't want to discount that. But for like your average Joe who's just like, oh man, I'm a little anxious, I'm a little depressed, like I don't have a lot of motivation. It's like, well, are you doing hard things? Are you challenging yourself? Do you have purpose? And if you do, like you're probably not going to feel that way. But if you are feeling that way, maybe do a little something about it. Exercise in so many studies has been shown to be just as, if not more powerful than any medication. And really, again, I think it just comes down to like you've got to know you can do hard shit. And then when hard shit happens in life, it's like, well, like here we are, like I got this, And I think it comes down to that ability to rise to the challenge and that purpose, And if people have that, it's like that whole like woe is me, self-diagnosed like anxiety and sadness and whatever. I'm like, you're just not gonna have that if you do some hard shit. And exercise is always hard. So maybe just exercise and you'll feel 1,000 times better.
yeah, right. I say that in my videos all the time. If you I'm a big believer that if you can show yourself that you can do something via exercise, you can almost attack anything that you
Anything.
want to, especially when you build consistency with it. Because then
Mhm.
you're like, oh wow, I'm consistently exercising. I can attack this project at work. I can take care of my kids. There's endless amount of things that you can showcase that you can do if you can just exercise and push yourself via exercise. It's just one of the best tools in life. Obviously, we're both going
Mm.
to say this because that's what we do, but I just the hardest part is getting people to do it. And you said something before that I want to kind of backtrack on. Eating and how like we should be eating a better diet. My wife is really good with this. She does like more of the nutrition side.
Mhm.
We are when we when I train people strength wise and she works with someone nutrition wise, we're not like, hey, you want to go stand on stage, right? Like you want to change your body composition. It's let's create a healthier relationship, like I had mentioned before. And I think social media screws people up, right? There's a lot of like false expectations out there with social media. I actually, do you know who Chris Powell is?
I don't.
Chris and Heidi Powell had a show probably 14 or 15 years ago. And it's funny because they were a couple, they were like this power couple, and they would get clients and they would change their lives. They were personal trainers, but they would do, it wasn't like the biggest loser. They would have medical doctors behind the scenes and they would get to know the person. And I remember watching that when my wife and I first met. And I said, I want to be them. That is what I want to be. And that's slowly what we're forming into. And but Chris had this video the other day. He'll, you know how these Instagram videos now, they'll like record something on their phone and it's on the screen and they're
Mhm.
kind of talking about it. And it was this woman on a beach, and she goes, in the beginning, JT, she had a six pack. Her her boobs were big, her face was perfect, she was shredded in her arms, and then as the video went on, she goes, "This isn't what I look like." And then eventually the stomach goes away, the shoulder definition goes away, the face looks a little bit different, the chest starts to deflate. And she goes, "This is the problem with social media. You are trying to compare yourself to a false narrative out there. Nobody looks like this most of the time. And even the people that stand on stage don't look like that all the time. They're definitely shredded, they've got big muscles, and they look good, but they're not like that all the time." And I feel like people have to change their expectations to, hey, I just want to be overall healthier. And when you set this goal in your mind, like I want to get a six pack or I want to have like crazy leg muscles, you're setting yourself up for failure because you have to enjoy the process. If you don't enjoy the process, you're not going to enjoy the end result.
100%. 100%. I think that's the biggest thing, right? Is like you got to be focused on the process versus the outcome. Because like, cool, like if you want to have a six pack, like as your goal, like great, fine, get after it. But what are the things that are going to get you to the six pack? Because that's what you need to worry about. Like, and if you're not worried about that, you're not going to get the six pack. But also, people don't realize how fucking hard it is to get to that level of fitness and then maintain it from there. Like the first time and only time that I've had like a genuine six pack, I was miserable. I was like, I am hungry all the time. Like my libido is trash. Like my energy sucks. But yeah, I'm 170 pounds lean and like cool. Like I've got abs in the mirror, which is dope. But also, like I feel like a bag of garbage. So
Yeah, you feel like shit.
maybe I don't want to maintain this, you know? So it
Yeah,
sucks. Like it requires just a totally different level of dedication that even as a coach, I was like, shit, man, I don't want to do this.
there. I did sorry, I just wanted to grab a water. I did a video or a post the other day on social media, and it was like it was 7 years of our gym being open, and I had to scroll through all of my Instagram posts in order to get like some of the old school pictures. And I scrolled back, and you go back to what you used to look like, and some of the stuff that you used to be able to do.
Yeah.
And I remember looking at that, and initially I was like, "Wow, I wish I could do that." And then you scroll some more, and JT, I was like, "Fuck that," because I remembered how I felt. I was like, "I don't want to feel like that anymore." I'm in such a.
No.
There were days where I was just exhausted, like you're saying. Your body is just beat up, and I look back at when my 8 year old was 3 years old, and I remember just sitting there on the couch feeling like a sack of potatoes and having no energy and being like, why is this? I'm exercising, but it's because I
Yeah.
wasn't exercising the correct way. And now with the two kids, I can unfortunately go jump on a trampoline with them for hours and get tackled by them and still have energy to come here and exercise if needed and have more energy with clients. It's also probably because I drink a lot of coffee now, but
Hell
I think
yeah.
it's also because of the exercise as well.
It's
The exercise
it's
selection.
both. It's both. But yeah, I mean, I felt that way when I mean, I wasn't single at the time, looking back, like remembering like the time period, but like I was I was working actually, I think, like a corporate 9 to 5 job. I was just getting into training, and hadn't transitioned full time over to training yet. I had no kids. Like I really had, like as far as being an adult goes, like I had no responsibility. And still, that shit was hard to maintain. And I was like, this is for the birds. Like maybe I'll aim for being lean, like looking like a personal trainer, doing all that stuff. Like that's important to me. I think we should walk the walk. But just like unless unless I'm yeah, which I would never do, but unless I'm competing for a bodybuilding show, like there's no reason to be that level of lean. Like that just doesn't work for me and my lifestyle. Like even now with two young kids, like my workout volume has decreased because I just can't recover from it. Like I'm not
Yeah.
getting enough sleep, trying to build a business, trying to spend time with my family, trying to spend time with my wife, like doing all the things. And like I just can't handle more because like my body can't recover from it. So it's like, well, it is what it is. Like I'll dial in my nutrition, I'll do what exercise I can, but like I'm not in a place to be able to push myself that much. And this is my job. And so for most people, like it's not their job and they don't have the time to dedicate to fitness that even I do at this stage of my life. And so it's like, how are you going to do this? Like you're going to run yourself into the ground and sacrifice time with your family and sacrifice your work when in reality like exercise should enhance all those things for you and build up all those things for you. Like why would you turn that around and turn it into a net negative?
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And it even from my standpoint, as someone who's been exercising since I was a senior in high school, which was 16 years ago, which is really crazy to say. I can still today go on social media and scroll and see someone's post and feel almost defeated to a certain point, thinking that I'm not doing the right thing. So,
Hmm.
me as a fitness professional who has a pretty good idea on what to do, still feeling defeated by seeing something that I feel like maybe I should be implementing that. If I'm not doing that, maybe I'm not doing it right. I could only imagine what someone who doesn't have any fitness experience would think when they're hopping onto a social media page where they see stuff like that. Whether it's nutrition, because there's 17,000 different ways to exercise or eat out there, and the same thing with exercise. And it's great because it's a great tool to get like uh, different selection of how to exercise and try different nutrition. But for the most part, like we're talking about, if you just keep it simple, you're going to get great results. And
Dude,
it's a shame because it's very frustrating and complicated out there.
it is, but honestly, like the more complicated, I think if you're looking at social media or anything like that and it seems complicated, it's probably not the way. Like, it's probably not to say that it's wrong, but it's probably not the best way to do it because realistically, the more and more that I've learned, the more and more it's simplified everything for me. And so if somebody is making it complicated, they're almost doing it on purpose. And it's either to like trick you into thinking it really is that hard so that you get help from them, or it's to trick you into thinking that they're really fucking smart. And so look at how complex this is and look at how much I understand it. When the truth is, that if you genuinely understand it, if you can regurgitate it to other people, it should be simple. You should be able to distill it down into something simple if you actually truly understand it. And so that's where like the more I've learned, the more I've just been like, well, shit, man, like this is way more straightforward than like most people want to make it out to be. Like, and you look at nutrition, and it's like, dude, I coach my clients on four things, and that's it. Like, control your calories for your body composition goal, get enough protein, get enough fiber, and eat like 3 to 4 meals per day. And if you do those
Yeah.
four things, like you're going to be able to control like your body weight. You're going to be able to maintain and build muscle. You're going to have a high quality diet because if you're eating enough protein and fiber, like you have no choice but to have a high quality diet. And then if you're eating 3 to 4 times a day, that covers all of our nutrition timing bases, our energy, our satiation. Like it's that simple. Like I don't need to talk about like short chain fatty acids and try and convince somebody that like you're going to die if you have a little bit of canola oil and you will live forever if you only use olive oil. Like I don't give a shit. Like do those four things. Don't worry about the rest. Try and like fit a little bit of something that you like every day or most days into your calories, but stay within your calories, and if you do that shit, like, you're gonna meet all your goals, and it's not that fucking serious.
Yeah, yeah, just keep it simple. Do you follow Lane Norton?
I do, yeah, yeah.
He made an awesome post on Black Friday. It was I forget who the guy is that he's having this argument with, but he's been ripping him for a while now. And it's just a video of him stepping out onto his front porch. Got a coffee mug, he's got canola oil, and he goes, "When you thought you were gonna go Black Friday shopping, but you drank canola oil on Thanksgiving Day, and now you're gonna die."
Now I'm dead.
He's
Now I'm dead.
he's out there. Some of the social media guys are awesome. They'll stir the pot. Sometimes I think that's the answer though, JT. In order to get the viewers and the followers, it's sometimes you got to stir the pot and do like what's his name, Joel Seedman. He does some wild stuff out there.
God, fuck that guy though, dude. Like seriously, he's actually almost gotten better. Like
I
I
was
don't
gonna
follow
say
him, but I was like
he's
creeping on him recently, trying to find some bullshit, like, and just like because I brought him up to somebody, and I was gonna be like, "Look at this shit," and like he actually does less outrageous things than he used to, but still, like eccentric isometrics. It's like, bro, you can't combine those things. Like they're
yeah
different. They're
no
fundamentally different things. When you're doing one, you can't do the other.
yeah
And, like, I remember some of his old videos where it's like, you're holding a trap bar, but you also have the safety bar,
on your
squat
back.
like barbell on your back and like a kettlebell strapped to your nuts. And it's like, now we're gonna do a squat because it's unstable and it's like in different fucking who knows, like planes of motion, whatever he wants to say. But you can use multiple pieces of equipment like that, but don't you dare go past 90 degrees because then you will
Yeah, no, you
die.
can't
And
go
it's
past
like,
90. But you
bro,
see,
like,
that's I think that's why he has so many followers though, because
yeah,
he's created an image and he doesn't care about it. If you ever read some of the comments, they're amazing because it'll be guys like Lane Norton or Dr. Mike Israel. They got Mike Israel and Joel Seedman got into it a few weeks ago. It was awesome. Or no, Ben Bruno did, and
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
they were just going back and forth. But then you read the comments of people on his comment thread, and his response is,
They
"Check
love
out my
him
free ebook. Check out my ebook."
every time.
Every single
Or his
time.
$500 textbook or whatever the fuck it is, and I'm just like, "What, dude? Like, what are you talking about? Like, this is just robbery."
But you know what? I give it to him because he trains professional athletes and they trust him. And besides Young Wei
Yeah, and
Koo
they
messing up
get
on that
fucking
kick on Monday
hurt,
night,
dude,
they do get hurt. Yeah, what's his
all
name?
the
The
time.
Seahawks. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude, Chris Carson, like, oh my
Oh, Chris
god, that
Carson.
guy
Yeah,
broke his
his neck.
fucking neck.
Yeah.
Like, oh, like I think his career was basically over. And then I see Joel Seedman doing like random shit with him, and I'm like, dude,
Oh,
like I can't attribute like that injury to his training with Joel, but like you're at least not being responsible, like putting him through some of these things when a guy literally just broke his neck, like and had to retire from the NFL because of that. Like, dude, it's crazy.
it is. Yeah. No, there. Social media is tough, but I've for the last like 3 months, I have completely sold my soul, and I'm trying to commit to it. You ever listen to like any of the motivational guys, like Alex Hermazi?
Yeah.
Yeah, Alex is awesome. My buddy has a social media page, and he does EDM type stuff.
Mm,
And he makes money from it, man. He started doing it like 5 years ago. Everyone thought he was crazy, and he started this page. He's probably got like 100,000 followers. Some
okay.
of the EDM artists will even ask him to come backstage, and he interviews a lot of them. He's even helped some of them like get off their feet. So for the last like 3 years, he's always like, Justin, you just gotta post. You just gotta post. You just gotta post. And I'm trying to figure out this whole algorithm monetization thing on all the platforms, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. TikTok, I'll tell you about that in a minute. But Alex Hermazi said something really cool the other day when I was listening to him. He goes, there was a class, a pottery class. Have you ever heard this before?
I think I know where you're going. Yeah.
And the professor said to one class to just make one quality pot. That's all you have to do for the whole semester. And then the other class, I want you to make as many as you possibly can. And let's see the difference. And at the end of the year, at the end of the semester, the group that had to make the crap ton of pots, some of the pots were way better than the ones that just spent all that time focusing on one because it was just volume, 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 volume. And as you do things over and over, you get better at it, which is the same with exercise, the
Mhm.
same with social media posting and trying to figure out this monetization thing. And then at the end, he goes, it's lottery tickets, right? And I have a lot of clients, and it's really sad that will buy lottery tickets every, I don't know, it's like Saturday, Wednesday, Friday, or something like that. You'll probably
Mhm.
spend like $20. And I truly believe that you have a better shot of trying to quote unquote win the lottery with social media than you do winning the actual fucking lottery. So I'm trying to figure it out, JT. It's tough, but it's put a toll on my body and my brain.
Dude, I think so. Like, and I've been the same way. Like, I took a break from social media for I think like over a year, and it was
Same.
awesome. It was amazing. Um, but it's really, I think it's just the reps, dude. Like you're saying, like you just got like obviously there's a quality component to it, and figuring out like how to hook people in, like that's a huge thing. Like get them to watch past like just a few seconds, and that's huge. But like generally it's just keep putting shit out, especially on a platform like Instagram where in maybe a couple hours, if that, like your shit is gone. Like nobody's gonna see it almost again, like unless it does actually like take off pretty well. But for most of your audience, like it's gone after like 20, 30 minutes, much less hours. And so it's like you just gotta keep hammering away and figuring
Yeah.
it out from there. But I think it's like anything else in life, it's just showing up. And I think that like eventually you just get that like that hockey stick curve where it's like, all right, like I've been going at it, I've been going at it, I've been going at it, I've been going at it. And then when you like least fucking expect it and you're ready to just throw in the towel, it's like, all right, now I figured it out. Like
It
now we
starts
got there
going up.
and we go. Yeah. And I
And
think that's true for anything.
I think a lot of people stop right there because you get so fed up and you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. It's not going anywhere. And most that's what Alex always talks about. Most people quit right as they're about to get to that peak. And
Hmm.
sometimes you just have to keep going. And a thing that I've been trying to like tell myself, especially with social media, and I'm talking about this because I'm gonna segue into your app for a second, but
Yeah.
I feel like I have something that could truly help people. And I feel like when you finally have that passion, you know, like you said, I took a year off as well for for a while. And
Hmm.
I would go through these breaks where I was like, I hate social media. I hate it. But it's, I mean, we got to face it. It's the future of our life. It's not going anywhere. It's here
No.
forever. If anything, it's just going to get crazier. But when you finally find something to like passionately post about over and over, it makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably how you feel about your app.
Dude, it is. It is. And it's interesting that you say that because like I've been coaching for a decade now, and I've always loved it. Like I've always really enjoyed it. I love the exercise science the most and like writing workout programs. So I've actually pared down my coaching service. Like I used to do nutrition and work with people on lifestyle. Now I'm like, dude, we're gonna do workouts. And like if people come to me down the line to be like, hey, like I'm ready to attack my nutrition. Can you help me? I'd be like, yes, absolutely. Cause like I'm qualified to do that. But I don't offer it up front because everybody knows they should eat better, but like rarely do people actually want to eat
Right.
better. But despite really enjoying coaching, like I always struggled on social media to put out like the right message or really feel comfortable and confident doing that, even though I know that like I write some of the best workout programs in the business. But with this app, I'm just like I'm so confident in what it can do to support personal trainers and really streamline their business that like it's just been easy to create for it. Like there's no barriers because I feel so good about it. I feel so connected to it. And like that just makes a huge difference. Like just that belief in the product, the confidence in it, and just being excited about it, even relative to something that like I've been excited about for 10 years. And so that's pretty crazy because like, yeah, like just knowing that you can deliver on something for someone, like, and again, that belief in it, oh, takes that shit to the next level.
Yeah, when you're finally passionate about something, it's not that both of us, right? It's not that we weren't passionate about fitness. It's just it's oversaturated. Uh,
Mhm,
and I actually my buddy who the EDM kid, he Tyrone, I'll just use his name. He he was telling me to do stuff over and over. And so I finally I my secondary love is sports. Football, basketball, baseball, like that's my passion, especially when it comes to fantasy sports.
mhm.
It unfortunately consumes a lot of my time. And Alex, listening to him, I should probably get rid of all that because it's just wasting time and space in my brain, and it's holding me back. But a few months ago, I'm getting to the point here. A few months ago, I started a TikTok page about fantasy sports. And JT, in the matter of 2 months, I had like 2,500 followers of just doing organic posts of like, hey, you should start this guy today in fantasy baseball. And fantasy baseball is such a small niche. If you ask someone
Dude,
who
for real.
likes baseball if they do fantasy baseball, they're like, no, that's for weirdos. I found 2,500 weirdos that loved fantasy baseball. And I would talk to them. I would do live streams like this. I have zero followers on, and this is why I'm frustrated today about the fitness world. And it is what it is. I'm going to stay consistent with it. I would do live streams about fantasy sports, and I would just make it lunch and fantasy decisions. And I would get like 150 people on there with just constant engagement. Hey, who should I start today? Who should I start today? And it was incredible. And then I must have just said one thing wrong that went against the policy of sports because I didn't understand. I don't understand the copyright things of it. I don't know if I wasn't
Mm.
supposed to say someone's name. TikTok just deleted it. And one night I went to go on and post my video and it was just gone. And I fought wholeheartedly because I poured my heart and soul into that. And
Mhm.
it just, they wouldn't give it back to me. So I took it as a sign of like, hey, Justin, you were kind of wasting your time with that. You should
Eh,
be focused on fitness. And what I'm getting at is that fitness is so oversaturated. There are so many trainers, kind of like what we were talking about pre coming on here. It's just so oversaturated. Everybody in their mind wants to be a trainer, which is great because it's going to make other people healthy. No matter what your agenda is on how you want to push it, it's great. I love it. It's going to make people healthy, but it's just very frustrating from a fitness person when you're trying to do something like this and get a little bit of engagement, you don't get shit.
yeah. Yeah, I think it's an opportunity though too. Like because I agree, like there's a lot of noise in this industry. There is for coaching, there is even for like the software that I built, like using coaching apps. But there's very there's very little good. It's not saturated with good coaches or good products, and that's where I think the opportunity is. So it sucks that it takes so much effort to kind of break through that noise, but the opportunity is there because the quality on the whole is honestly like it's not great. It's very mid, and like there's tons of great coaches. Like I don't want to pretend like there's not, but there's just as many, if not more, who just got into it because they like to work out, and that's really it. And like they're not actually great coaches. They're whether it's the exercise science piece of things or the actual like coaching side of things. And so the opportunity is really there. And I think that for a lot of people too. Oh, I just fucking kicked my tripod.
So
Um, but I think the really cool thing right now, at least for me personally, I mentioned how I've kind of scaled down my service to just like the exercise part of it. Let me help you get like the fittest that you can physically. If and when you want nutrition, like let me know, like we'll attack it. But really, I'm your workout guru, like your workout sensei, and that's me. I think we need to get back to that. Like the industry right now and for so long, like almost the entire time that I've been in the industry is like, if you're just a personal trainer, like your business is going to fail. Like you've got to be a nutritionist, you've got to be a lifestyle coach, you've got to do mindset. Like you've got to now do fucking peptides. And it's like, I'm not a goddamn doctor. I'm a personal trainer. But like the whole industry is like you're going to fall behind unless you do all this other shit that's way outside your personal training scope. Like you have to be more than a personal trainer. And I even see it with the software. Is like that's part of the reason, like part of my like marketing message is like, dude, we are for personal trainers and that's it. Like if you want to do nutrition, if you want to do lifestyle, like you're going to have to go to one of those other apps. But I see all those other apps also say the same thing, and they're like, we're the all-in-one app, and if you don't do all-in-one, you're fucked. And it's like you're not
yeah,
though, because
yeah,
exercise is so powerful and being a personal trainer is so powerful. Like you can make a massive impact on people's lives by helping them get more physically fit. You don't have to do anything else. And I'm hopeful, and I think I kind of see the seeds being planted like among the industry of people who do believe that same thing, that hey, if you're a personal trainer, if you're a strength coach, if you're somebody whose expertise is the physical exercise part of things, like lean into that. And I think that the industry is in the very infant stages of that message taking hold and kind of reversing this whole all-in-one thing. That like look, like no shade to anybody who does that if you're really good at it, but you're also like, for the most part, if you're a generalist, like you're kind of average at everything. Like, and if you say you're a personal trainer, but also I do nutrition and lifestyle and peptides and all these things, well, how good of a personal trainer are you? Because you're not developing your craft as a personal trainer. And it takes a lot of time to develop that craft. So, like, yeah, you're a personal trainer, but not a very good one. And then you're also an average nutritionist and you're also an average like sleep guru. And it's like, how much can you really help somebody by being average at all those things? Like, why don't you be elite and exceptional at one of those things? And then you can make a huge improvement in people's lives. Like, I've seen people get way more results in my program by me just focusing on the thing that I do the very best and cutting out the rest than by trying to do it all. Because most of the time, especially like with nutrition, what would happen is I get somebody who wants to exercise. They say they want to do nutrition because they think they should, but they don't really want to. They don't really want to change like their sleep routine. They don't want to change their habits, like their lifestyle habits. And so really they just want to exercise. But we agreed because this is the service that we're going to attack everything. So then week over week, they do all their workouts, they don't change their nutrition, they don't change their sleep schedule, they don't change all this lifestyle shit. And then they're 1 for 4 because they only did their exercises out of all those 4 things and they feel like a failure because they hit 25%. And
Sure.
meanwhile, if I had just said, hey, we're going to crush this exercise, that's all we're going to focus on, well, then they're 1 for 1. They're 100% and they're successful. And then their motivation goes up, their discipline goes up, their work ethic goes up, all from exercise. And they say, hey, like, I think I can do this nutrition now. Or, hey, like, I'm not recovering well. What can I do? Well, you could get a little more sleep. Like, that'll help a lot. Like, maybe go for some, some walks during the day. That'll help your recovery. And before you know it, they're incorporating all those things naturally because I just gave them the time to get there on their own.
And you
And
made
it's
it
like,
simple.
and I made it simple. Whereas before, I threw the whole kitchen sink at them, and before they know it, they feel like a failure, even though they're not really failing. And then they quit because they're like, I can't do all this shit. Whereas it's like, the simpler I make it, the less services that I offer, the cleaner it got and the more results that people got. And I think, I hope that, and I hope to be part of the change in the industry that pushes this. But, again, I think that it's moving in that direction. But I think people are going to realize that. I think people are going to realize that less is more when you do it exceptionally.
Sure. Yeah. 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 And that goes hand in hand with both, right? With fitness and then even like what we're trying to do with social media and just focus.
Yeah.
Uh, I like that you're not wearing an Apple Watch, right? That's not an Apple Watch. That's just a
No, it's a G-Shock.
yeah, it's a G Shock. And I say that because you're talking about like 25%. You wake up. My wife wanted to have, oh my God, well, a Whoop. You remember the Whoop
Oh,
watch? I don't know
yeah.
if it's still a thing.
Mhm.
And she would wake up and it gives you, when you wake up, it would give you a score. I think it's like one is out of five. And I feel like a lot of people in today's society should not be told that you're waking up with 20% battery because all of a sudden your head is like, oh, wow, today is going to be a shitty day. So it's just like what you
Yeah.
were saying. Like, if you're only able to attack 1 out of 4 things, you're like, I'm only at 25%. I'm not able to attack it. I'm a failure. But you don't want
Mhm.
people to think that they're failures, and you don't want people to think that their battery levels are really low. You just got to wake up and just start doing one step at a time and just
Yeah.
little things at a time. Feel your body out. If you don't feel like you're able to lift really heavy that day, just do something. Go for a walk, like you said. Maybe go for a bike ride. Go for a swim. Sometimes I'll even shock myself too when I go into the gym when I'm exhausted, and that's like one of my best workouts. It's
Yeah.
amazing how the body works. But I agree with like the percentage and like mentally defeating people in the beginning. It's a psychological fuck.
Dude, it is. It is. I think those, like, sleep scores or recovery scores are, like, a good example of that too. Because yeah, like, if you wake up and you feel good and then you look at your watch and it's like, "Oh, your recovery was trash." You're like, "Well, like, I guess I can't do anything today." Or maybe you do feel smacked a little bit and your watch says so, but it's like, you probably feel better if you moved around a little bit and actually did your workout. But instead, your watch told you like your recovery sucks. And so you skipped it. And then you still felt like trash through the rest of the day. And you're like, oh man, like that watch was so right. I felt horrible today. And it's like,
it,
was the
it
watch
dictated
right?
my
Or was it a
day.
yeah, or was it a self-fulfilling prophecy? Like, you still
Yeah.
got to just show up and do the work. Like you said, if I feel like trash and I go work out, at the very least, I'm gonna feel better afterwards, guaranteed. And oftentimes, like, once I get moving, then I'm like, yeah, I feel pretty good and I get after it and I have a great workout. Like that doesn't always happen. It's not like even common, but it definitely does happen where I go in there thinking like I'm gonna have a bad workout and then I just crush it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, like the whole sleep thing, right? Like I have a lot of clients who have Fitbits, and they'll be
Mhm.
like, "Oh, Justin, look, my sleep schedule was off." I get it. Listen, last night at 11 o'clock, my dogs had to go out. At 1 o'clock in the morning, never ever happens, but my 8 year old decided to pee his bed. It's
Mhm.
like 3 times it's happened in his entire life. So then from 11 to 1, then as soon as I'm about to go in bed, then my wife wakes up. She wakes me up because she's moving around. Then the cats need to get fed, so I hear the food jiggling around. Now I finally go to sleep, and it's like 2:30. My cat throws up on the side of the bed. That wakes me up, and then at 4:30, my 3 year old's crying because who knows? He probably had a nightmare.
Yeah.
So like my sleep was horrible too, but you just kind of move on and you feel your body out for the whole day. And you can't. There are just some things that are out of your control, and I hate that people are using devices and letting that dictate how they do their day with
I think
workouts.
so too. Like you got to scale it sometimes. And I do that for my clients like that I see in person. Like we'll talk about how they're feeling and if we see anything's off, like we'll adjust the workout, but it's not the answer isn't to not do it. The answer is to scale it down for how you feel in the moment. Like you still got to show up, you still got to do some work, but you can do a little less, maybe cut out a set or two here or there, maybe do a little bit less weight. But like, yeah, you're not going to keep things moving forward. You're not going to feel better by skipping shit. Like you're going to feel better by still doing it, but just adjusting for how you feel that day. But like, let your own body tell you that. Like, don't let a watch tell me that. These things are so inaccurate in the large part, anyways, that it's like we're relying on something that just probably isn't that right to begin with. And then it's like sabotaging us because it's putting in our head how we feel. And we're not actually paying attention to how we feel.
And it's not going to get any better, JT, because of the way that tech is going and
Oh
the
my
way that
God.
AI is going. It's just going to keep getting. It's going to progress, and it's you got to figure out the pros and the cons of it. Uh, but a lot more people are going to be using the cons of it than the pros. Uh,
I think so.
and I'm a big believer that because you always have I don't know if you do, but when I talk to people, there's always a debate of like whose jobs are robots about to take over because it's going to happen within the next decade. I don't know if you saw Elon Musk's showcasing yesterday of Optimus. It is mind blowing what is about to be. We've watched movies about this, JT. We know what's going
Yeah.
to happen. I don't know why we're doing this. It's almost like if I was to go find a scientist and be like, "Hey, can you create an egg of a Tyrannosaurus Rex?" Right? Like we know what the end result of this is going to be.
We've seen it.
But robots are going to take over a lot of manufacturing jobs. They're going to take over some big time jobs. But I am a big believer that personal training will not go away because
No, it
for
won't.
the next decade, for the next 2 decades, people are always going to want to pay for one-on-one human interaction. I am a firm believer in that. So as much as I'm pushing that social media platform and trying to get followers and interactions and stuff like that, I know that what I'm doing here in my facility, because I know that I'm full time and this is like my main thing, I'm very grateful for that, and I know I'm very hopeful that it will not get taken away. But I am a big believer that people will always want human to human interaction, especially with how
Dude.
it's about to get thrown at us hardcore over the next 10 years.
Dude, for real. And I 100% agree with you. Like I have no no fears about like my job security because of that. Because there's certain people who need an in-person appointment with me in order to work out. Like there's just people who are built that way and they will always want that. And then on top of that, even if it's online training, there's going to be people, myself included, who just want a human. Like,
Yeah,
even if there's a service that AI can do just as good, there's gonna always be a percentage of the population that says, I want the person and I will pay for the person, or if it's the same price, whatever. Like, some people will pay up for it. Some people will, like, if it's the same price, they'll always choose the human, like, whatever. But there's always gonna be people who are gonna choose the human. And I know that because I'm gonna be that way. And I think AI is a great tool and a great supporting tool and a great, like, assistant for me. And I use it in a lot of different ways. But like, people need the human connection, like you're saying, and that's a fundamental piece of our existence. And so, yeah, like AI one day, I mean, even now it spits out decent programs, and one day it's probably going to be really good, but it's not going to matter like the people who will choose that probably like weren't my people anyways. And then there's
Sure.
gonna be people who, even though they know they can go get a free program from ChatGPT that's gonna be really good, like, guess what? I can lie to a fucking computer, but if I lie to a human, I feel like a dick. And so,
Yeah.
like, the accountability piece is a huge portion of that, where it's like, how is AI gonna hold me accountable as a human? It's not, because I know that it's a computer. And so no matter even if it's following up with me, in a message after my missed workout, like I know it's a computer, so I don't give a shit. But if me or you, Justin, is on the other side of that message, or I'm missing an in-person appointment with you, like that's real accountability. And people are gonna need that. People are gonna want human interaction. And so our jobs are never going away. Like, yeah, more and more people are gonna adopt, AI coaches over the years, but there's always going to be tons and tons of people in this world who want that human connection more than enough for me. There's going to be more, like, I have like 40 online clients right now. There's always going to be at least 40 people in the world who want human connection, and it's
100%.
yeah, it's going to be tens of millions if not billions really who want that. So the opportunity is going to be there. Like, I'm not worried about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
Nice,
JT,
man.
I'm probably gonna pop off. Okay.
Yeah, dude, I got to get rolling too, but it was good to connect, man. I'm glad we finally got to do this.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been like 5 years.
That's all. That's all. It only took 5 years. We'll talk in another five.
Yeah. 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 Sure. We'll have Optimus
Oh,
on with us.
that would be interesting. Yeah, we'll put him through a workout. We'll see if he can, see if he's up for the task.
That'd be awesome.
All
All
right,
right,
man. It was
JT,
good to
you
chat with
have
you.
an awesome day.
You too, Justin.
High five. I'll see you.
Take it easy, man.